Well, the Hurricanes are going all right at the moment, and it's great to welcome onto the show their centre, Billy Proctor. Billy, thanks so much for joining us. Been a nice couple of days of getting the body back in place after a really good win on Friday.
Yeah, it's nice to be in the position where we are in, and we're lucky enough to get the 8 day turnaround and have the weekend off to recover and look after our bodies after that quarterfinal on the weekend. So yeah, enjoyed the last couple of days. Yeah, just recovering and taking a bit of a breath and step back.
What was the team's sort of discussion as there's pretty much torrential rain all Friday? You guys have obviously attacked the house down, but the mindset and the skill execution seemed to not change. Was that always the case, or did you just play at what you saw on the night?
A few discussions on Friday around our game and things that could change. And, we had a meeting in the change room and talked about our kicking game and ways that, yeah, that we might have to play considering the weather. But once we got out there and felt that it was good enough to throw the ball around and, ball in hand wasn't actually too bad. It was just quite windy and the rain stopped for the most part. So that just allowed us to play our game and do what we've been doing all season. And yeah, as I said, use the ball and go to the air when we needed to.
When you guys trained at Rugby League Park back in the day, you basically lived in those conditions. Now that you're up on the hut and you've got the ability to use an indoor facility too, are you still spending a lot of time outside in those conditions and it helps get you into that place?
We're definitely outside, still getting used to the weather. So the boys are, yeah, are still no strangers to the weather that Wellington provides, whether that be the rain and wind. But as you said, we're lucky enough to be able to go inside and get through our detail, which is nice. Our specs aren't out there freezing.
You talk about the detail. What is the balance between that for you guys in attack? Because it looks like there's a lot of instinct in the way you play and the way that the yellow jerseys sort of flood the space once there's sort of a chink in the defense's armor. Do you guys have a license, and do you train that license to just play what you see? Or is there a little bit more structure to it than what it looks like?
Yeah, there's definitely structure put in place. We have, I guess, systems to fall into when we get into certain areas and, once certain things happen. But the coaches have always backed us to play what we see. If there's, a half gap or an opportunity that we think's the best one, we have the full license to take it, and the boys do that, and the boys back each other. Whether it's the right decision or wrong, it doesn't matter too much for us. We all just commit to whatever the game drivers or whoever's on the board decides to go with. So I think that's an area that we've been really good at, is trusting each other and backing the boys and as you said, playing with instinct and yeah, just fully committing to it.
One of the most amazing things I think about that is that there has been through the season a lot of change in the back line, depending on injuries or whoever's coming in and out. But you've managed to maintain that same approach, which it must take a lot of work.
A testament to the work that we've done starting in November last year, throughout the preseason. They've put in structures and I guess the system that has allowed us to play like that. And obviously all the boys have bought into it, and everyone sort of has the understanding of that as a full collective. And I think that's why we're able to jump in and out of it.
When you look at you guys, like everyone loves the tries scored. I think more impressive is the amount of tries that are stopped. Defensively, Corey Drain and I suppose your squad has been around for a long time. You sit in probably the hardest defensive position in rugby at centre. What is the system as such there? Everyone talks about Corey Jane outside in, the way he played, and some of the way he's coached previously. But is that still the case?
Siege's are very detailed. He puts a lot of work into our defense, and it's pretty similar to our attack around, we've got our structures in place and we've all committed to it. A lot of talk around defense wins championships, and for the most part of the season, we've actually been pretty good. And we try and match teams physically, but we try and get in the spots that we train all week to make it hard for the attack. So previewing teams, he's awesome at that, and fine tuning our own structure. So it doesn't really matter what teams bring. We're in a spot where we can solve their attack and stop it.
You're the least penalised team. So even though you run that rush defence and you're in the top three in terms of turnovers won, the discipline around those decisions at breakdown, but also when to fly off the line, seems to be a big factor of those systems.
Offsides and little penalties like that where a controllable thing, just take the extra step or whatever that is. It's an important part of our defense. And then same thing, he's given us the license to have a crack at the ball when you think there's an opportunity. And we're never always going to get it right, so there's going to be penalties there, but as long as it's the right decision, there's an opportunity to get it back. If you do get it a bit wrong, we'll go and back our defense in a different area of the field.
Is there a lot of communication on the run there, though, as well, in terms from the outside in, around reminding you, to take that half step, or maybe it's Cam Roygaard saying that ruck's dead, leave it alone? It just seems like everyone seems to be on the same page, and when you commit, you all commit, but it feels like there must be a lot of chat to just keep that in check.
There is a lot of talk on the run that's, boys, tired at times. So, yeah, whether that's from the outside in, taking a step if we see people, pushing the limit, or, backing people to go for the ball if, presenting the opportunity presents, or a barge opportunity, whatever it may be. And same thing as our attack, and I think it's around the whole game is we back each other and, we just commit to it.
From your point of view as a centre, and Jipper referred to how tough it is, what's your train of thought on defence? Like the first call that you're making, the first thing that you think about as you see the opposition head out in your direction? What's your process there?
Yeah, a lot of it's around probably setting early to try and see pitches. Teams give cues away when they're coming into my area of the field. The earlier you can set and try and see what those cues are, makes it that much easier. But positioning in our structure, if the wingers are looking after us and us looking after the boys inside us, it's a collective thing. So put each other in positions that help each other in the right execution of that as well.
How quickly do you know we've got this right?
You stop them on your edge, or if we get the ball back, or I think a lot of it's outcome based. Sometimes you can get it wrong, but they didn't execute as well as they could have. So you take that as a win.
Is it a win defensively to force people back in? Because, I'm not really in a hurry to cut back and run into a Safamoa at any time.
Nah, I wouldn't be either. I think, that is a win. Part of our job is to send traffic towards him, and a lot of times when he's in the collision, we get the ball back.
One of the big talking points around the Canes this year has been Ruben Love and his progression as a playmaker. A maturation, I suppose, is kind of the talking point everyone is saying. What are you seeing for you about where he's improved, and both, I suppose, on and off the park?
Time in the saddle for him has really helped him. He's always had the skill set. The things that you learn in that position come from experience, and he does a lot of work behind the scenes, whether that be on his skill set, whether that be on his way he goes over the game plan and makes sure he's efficient with what he tells us, and getting calls to the right people at the right time. It's shown throughout the season, which has been good for him and good for us also.
Like, Ruben's a superstar in his own right, and I think in previous season it felt like he was like, okay, what's on here? For him to sort of create something. Whereas this season, it looks like it's more a question of what's on here versus not what's on here for me to create something. It's literally what's on here for the Hurricanes.
Exactly that, and we're the best spaces to attack, and him along with the rest of our game drivers, it's our job to be able to get the ball there. But his time being at 15 also allows him to see the opportunity that may be there for him, and it's a strength that he's brought from being a fullback. He can still use his footwork in other parts of his game, not just his pass and kick, which is helpful for us.
From your perspective, what do you feed into him to allow him to do those things? That's obviously part of your job.
If there's space that I see or whatever that may be, just giving him an early call, and if you're confident in it, it gives him confidence and time to get the ball there, or you know execute his skill set. So yeah, just keeping his eyes and keep talking to him around what I see, and it's a collective.
The other person that we've kind of really noticed progress this year is Callum Harkin with game time. He has really taken a step up. What are his strengths from your team's point of view?
He's got an awesome skill set. His catch passes, kicking, now backs himself to play what he sees, and he definitely commits. Once he's made his decision, you can probably tell by the speed he hits the ball with ball in hand, and that's another strength of his.
I'm glad you said that, because he's quite deceptive. Like when he takes off, he's got some toe. Is he pretty quick through the lights?
Not too sure what his numbers are, but I'd say he'd be up there. Yeah, it's probably why he makes so many breaks. Is he's deceptively quick.
Your individual performance, like probably one of, if not the best season you've had, for the Hurricanes. What was your mindset coming into this season?
I guess it's like not trying to do too much. Our team is, we have threats everywhere. So in different times, it's different things. Whether it's putting other people in space, maybe there's opportunities for me to have a run, or have all the skills to be able to execute whatever the picture shows at that particular time. So try and be the all round player.
You head into another game this weekend against the Blues, and you guys are in a position now where you can own, I suppose, your future this year. You can go all the way to a home final. The conversation around those elements, is that something that's quite overt?
We're in a position where we're playing a semi-final at home, and at the start of the year, that's what we wanted in front of our fans. So now it's just being able to put a head down, do the work, and put a performance out there that can get us a win.
What do weeks look like at this time of the year, Billy, in terms of, it's a big load, it's a big season. Is it sort of just fine tuning, a lot more walkthrough than, I suppose, anything strenuous physically?
I think the coaches go through at the start of the week what's best required, but yeah, there's probably not as much volume. A lot of it's around, as you said, fine tuning, making sure we're all on the same page, and then a lot of skill set stuff. We know we're not going to get too much better physically in the space of a week or two, so it's about putting our bodies in the best nick they can be come Saturday, because that's when it matters, and that's when it's going to count.
Hey, thank you very much, Billy. All the best for the rest of the comp.
Easy. Thank you very much.